Opinions unqualified. Man, those seltzer cans pop well, Sammy.
Yeah, I know.
That's unbelievable.
Not too bad. For $10, 4 of them.
$4 for 10. We've spoken about it a few weeks in a row.
I know.
So finally, you've brought them in, and I actually haven't tasted it yet. So on air,
Live taste.
first ever seltzer. So I'm about to do that. All right. So the Chris got me though. That was so good. And then you were doing it, and it was just beautiful. All right, here we go. It's refreshing.
Yeah, that's what it's designed to be. A nice little refreshing drink that you can have on a summer's day or a summer's night, or
Tastes
easy.
like flavoured water.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much the contents of it is water, flavouring, and alcohol.
Yeah, it's pretty good. 4%, 99 calories in it. It's always nice to know the calories.
Very healthy, very healthy.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed that you've done that, Sammy. So, welcome to this week's show, brother.
Yeah, 35, I think.
35. I was actually going to start the show with some jingle bells.
Yeah, it is pretty much our Christmas.
It's our Christmas episode.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. So episode 35.
Merry Christmas.
Forever now known as the Christmas episode. So Merry Christmas. Which sort of leads me in, before we introduce our guest for today, is Die Hard the greatest Christmas movie ever made?
Ooh. What about Elf?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think Die Hard's better than Elf, but I think Home Alone could be up there well.
There's a few like that. I really like a movie called Deck the Halls.
Okay, who's in that?
It's got who's the little dude? The little
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Danny
That's
DeVito's
the
in
one.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got him in a. I don't think it's actually that good of a Christmas movie, but just struck the chord with me, and I think it's a pretty good movie. You know.
Okay, well, it's probably a good point because we've got our guest here shaking and nodding his head. So this, I don't know if it's facts or not. We're not very good at stats. But, other than Kai, who's been on a couple of times, I think he might be our first returnee, and he's going to do the full show with us. So, welcome, T-Bomber. How are you, brother?
Good, man. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's been a long time between drinks. I think I was on episode 14,
Okay.
if I remember rightly. And in regards to Christmas movies, how about Gremlins?
Well, your Gremlins is a very good movie as well. But Die Hard for me. Die Hard is still the greatest Christmas movie of all time, in my opinion.
I haven't even seen Gremlins.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
man.
not seen it.
I love Gremlins as a kid. They were just so cute.
Don't feed them after midnight. Don't put them in water.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's the rules. Yeah. I remember that.
So I think the second Die Hard film, was that a Christmas film as well? When they were in the airport?
Yeah, I think they've all been set at Christmas. Christmas for John McClane must be the worst time of year.
That's true. Actually, the third one though with Samuel L. Jackson, I don't think that was one with Christmas though.
Oh really?
Yeah, the one where they're running around New York City trying to solve those puzzles and getting the water jugs, trying to get the right amount and. Yeah.
That was good. That was
a good film actually. That was really good.
I think those Die Hard movies are good. I think they're underrated.
I think how many is there? Isn't there 5 now though?
There's
a lot.
Few.
Yeah, and I think probably what resurrected Die Hard for me was Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because Brooklyn Nine-Nine they just love it. They just love it. Yeah. So anyway, Sammy, you had your birthday on the weekend. So firstly, I'm going to do this on. I apologise. I worked till 10:30 and I was just exhausted, so I couldn't make it. But I did hear that the shed got a good workout.
Yeah, it definitely did. Obviously, around this time, it's always a bit hard to get a solid contingent round. But as I say, you only need one person that's up for a good time to have a good time.
Yep.
And we got a couple more than a couple there.
Yep, that's good.
And really, as you were saying that you were knackered and you finished at 10:30, that probably would have been at the perfect time when the espresso started coming out. So you might have been able to
perk myself up. Yeah. And you do make a nice espresso. Yeah, I'll have to admit that. Which sort of leads me to best birthday ever. So let's talk about, obviously, the birthday you have is the best because you've had it, I guess. But is there a birthday that sticks out for you that was like, man, this is unbelievable and I'm always going to remember this?
Well, some would say that I would never remember my 21st. But my 18th and my 21st were probably two that stick out just because it's probably the most people that got to the shed, most commitment, everyone in.
Yep.
Yeah, that would have to be for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
T-Bomber?
For me, though, actually, it's funny you say that. My 18th, 21st, definitely birthdays I don't remember. My 18th, I apparently was passed out by about a bit after 8 o'clock.
Yep.
I proposed to 4 different women.
Yep.
One of which was Mrs. Stellard, our neighbour at the time, who I think was about 65 or so.
Yep.
I was carted out for that one. Let's see. And
who carried you out?
You and I think it was Paul Blackford.
Yeah.
And he's the one who actually drove me home.
Yeah.
Let's see. And my 21st, it was another night where I blacked out. I've got no idea what happened that night. All I know is I woke up the next morning and the left-hand side of my body was just covered in like black texture. There was like a black outline on my sheets. And I actually got these random phone calls from people the next day saying, "Oh, Troy, we met you last night. You know, can we come over?" And I'm like, "Sure." I had no idea who these people were.
Did they actually come over?
Yeah.
Love that.
Awesome. Did you become friends after that?
Yeah.
See, that's amazing.
I basically asked, like, "Who are you?" And they actually explained, "Oh, rightio." And I almost got evicted out of the student village. That's where I was at the time because apparently I was climbing walls and trying to get into flats. So basically, when I used to get drunk, it was a celebration. So as you said, one person decides to get into the mix can really make a big night of it.
Yeah. I guess for me, birthdays always were hard because, like, my birthday's on the 27th of December, so it was always Christmas, and then your birthday, and then New Year, and so it was sort of like when everyone else is, as you know, Sam, everyone else is doing other things this time of year, and the amount of combined Christmas and birthday presents you get, and you're just sort of like, man, like everyone else gets their own birthday. Like, just let me have my own birthday.
I was a big fan of the combined present, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Just, you know, when you wanted that little bit bigger of a present,
yeah,
you know, mum and dad are like, oh, and you're like, you know what? Just combine it as my Christmas and birthday.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I actually, I can't really complain. I remember my 17th birthday. I got a car.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it was a $1,500 car, so it wasn't like that parents went out and crazy and bought me a new Mustang or anything. But it was it was a 1981 XD Falcon, beautiful white one. Yeah, so that was a combined, obviously, birthday and Christmas, and I don't actually think I got a birthday present ever again after that, to be honest. But
that was it was a good car.
It was definitely worth it. Yeah,
it was worth more than what was my first car? It was a XW Ford Falcon station wagon, 1969.
Well, that was a beautiful car too, though.
It was a beautiful car. It
drove like a boat, but
it did. It was a land well. You'd hit a rock or something, it would start floating. And I think a few times I might have hit things, and it was perfectly fine. The poles or the trees were destroyed, but the car itself was absolutely immaculate. And you could fit like a bed in the back as well. It was a great car, that one.
Yeah, you could.
And the one, I think the one after that was like I had a Sigma, it was a 1980 Sigma.
Yeah.
I love that car.
Yeah, you know, I remember Troy was the sort of guy, so he was in university.
Yeah.
And so he had this beat up 1980 Sigma, and he must have had a $3,000 stereo in it. He had like, I don't know, it wouldn't have been that expensive.
No, it was about
a student.
It was about $1,000.
But yeah, but like the stereo was worth more than the car. Yeah. Like there was a big subwoofer in it, and he'd jump in and he'd put Chemical Brothers on it, and or just the whole car. You hear this bass in the whole car. You feel like it's going to fall to pieces.
Yeah,
like rattling. Yeah, they were the times. Yeah, I remember that car.
You got to have a sub in your first car or when you're around that age.
Yeah, absolutely.
My first car had the sub in it.
Yeah, it was just like doo.
Yeah, no lyrics or anything.
No. yeah. No, it was good. I was sitting there and he put it so loud, and I was sitting in the car. Yeah, Troy, this is awesome. I think I've got hearing problems for it now, but you know that's how it is.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Talking about that time,
yeah,
there used to be this show on SBS back then, which I think it sort of rattled some cages, I guess. And Sam's come in today, and like we need to talk about this. So I'm like yeah, let's do it. Let's get into this.
Fat pizzas.
Fat pizzas.
Fat pizza. Yes.
They're big. What are they?
They're big and they're juicy.
Cheesy.
Yeah. Cheesy. Something like that.
They're big and they're cheesy.
Yeah, Paulie. Yeah, I was just watching the movie on. They got it on Netflix. And I think I definitely, having an older brother, and I think I definitely watched this movie too young, because I would have watched it. Well, when would it have come out?
Oh, that would have been early thousands.
Probably shouldn't have been watching it, but I remember it uncensored. and then I came up on Netflix and I was like, oh hell yeah, like I want to revisit this. I remember it being pretty funny. But it was censored.
Yep.
So every time they swore, they had like a car horn or something like that.
Oh yeah, nah.
And obviously with that movie, you're almost hearing more car horns and censored moments than
Yeah, I feel like you're sitting in a traffic jam.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, because there's so much language in those movies.
Were they Lebanese?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to think. Yeah, that's right. They were Lebanese. They actually had there was a pizza place, though, obviously.
Yeah.
They were Lebanese, and they used to argue. I'm trying to remember because I used to watch the show.
Davo was the
Yeah, the stoner.
Yeah, he was the best dude with the pluggers.
Yeah, so he'd have pluggers. He'd be a stoner, and he used to be Jabba from like the ABC the music show at the bottom.
Yeah,
so he ended up being on Fat Pizza. But yeah. So and they had Asian drivers, and they'd take the piss out of them all the time. Yeah,
it wasn't PC.
No, I remember.
Not at all.
Not at all. I think it was on on a Monday night at 8 p.m. back when we were in the 90s. So SBS. Yeah. So I think it was like South Park into Fat Pizza or something like that. And we used to come home and watch it every single week. And I think when you're young, you're like, oh man, this is so far out there. This is so bad. But I guess the way that comedy changes, you wouldn't get away with that now.
No.
You just wouldn't.
Well, they had what are the Housos?
Yeah.
Was there that I don't know what the Paulie dude's what's his real name?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just know him as Paulie. But he does I think he's had quite a few of those kind of sitcom TV shows like that. That he definitely likes to challenge
public opinion.
Yeah, and stuff that probably other people might not have the guts to explore. Yeah,
I think there was a real ethnic move in Australia at that time as well. Like there was the sort of Lebanese, Italian, Greek. It was cool to be that because there was obviously the Wild Boy. As well, it was a similar time. Yeah. So it was Nick, whatever. Whatever their name is. I can't remember. Giannopoulos, that's it. Nick Giannopoulos was that. Yeah. But I don't think you could make that movie now, The Wild Boy, and it be as acclaimed as it was. I think people have moved on from. But I could be wrong. Yeah,
well, that's true. I mean, a lot of movies are like a product of their times, I guess. I mean, you watch a lot of older films. Let's say, I was watching a few Bond films lately. Yeah. My God, the stuff that man gets away with. I mean, he's very forward when it comes to women.
James Bond.
Oh yeah. It was and these films were obviously set in the 60s, so they're what they consider normal. That and the fact every scene had him smoking more or less.
Yeah.
And had very distinct roles, in regards to if you're from certain countries or you act a certain way or how men should behave with women, and Bond basically doing whatever he likes. I was going, they couldn't do anything even close to that now.
That sort of moves me on to Austin Powers. Have you ever watched Austin Powers?
Baby.
Yeah, baby. I watched that the other day, and I didn't realise that was 20, 30 years ago that movie was.
Yeah.
It's amazing how old that movie was, and I feel like it's a movie that was made yesterday.
It feels like a maybe early 2000s. It was probably a bit.
Yeah. No, it was the 90s, wasn't
it?
I
think it was the
90s.
Yeah. That's what. But it feels it feels like one of those kind of things.
It's still aged well. I mean, apart from the fact there's no phones in it, I guess.
Oh man, I was just thinking it's hilarious. Like the scene where he's trying to move the car thing in the hallway and he's going backwards and forwards.
That's it.
And it's the dumbest joke ever.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious, and he's just sitting there, just doing that. And there's a scene where Dr. Evil sends them to get killed, and then the son's like, "Why wouldn't you watch him? Why wouldn't you just shoot him?" Yeah. He's like, "Oh, don't tell me how to do this, because it's like every Bond movie ever, or
It's like zip it.
Yeah, zip it. Yeah, it's so funny.
www.zipit.com.
Zip it real good.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. You gotta zip it good.
But yeah, no, actually, some films age better than others. I watched with my daughter Predator, which came out in the 80s, and that's still a great film.
Yeah.
So it's got a few words in there which are a bit as in he's one line, he's blows some guys away, knock knock, and such things. But yeah, it's actually some films go really well.
I actually watched I watched a Rowan Atkinson movie, but it was the one where he's he has to go to France, I think, or something, or he has to go somewhere, or he's from France and he has to go check out the painting, or has to go get the painting.
Mr. Bean rides again? No?
I'm not sure whether it's actually called Mr. Bean.
Or Rome Holiday?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
okay.
was that one where he's a secret agent?
No,
not Johnny English.
not Johnny English.
Okay.
No, I can't remember what it's called, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Rowan Atkinson's good.
Yeah, he's funny. And the fact that he could act in those Mr. Bean series and keep people so entertained without actually talking, is this incredible. That's an incredible skill to have. I don't know how many people can keep people that engaged without actually talking.
I don't know whether I brought this up on the podcast before, but he actually got knocked back heaps of times from executives or whatever because he had a speech impediment.
Yeah.
And they said, like, you're never going to make it in film because you can't talk properly, pretty much.
Wow.
And then he just kept on pushing it, and then that's...
well, that's, again,
yeah.
That's a great story of persistence. And
Yeah. He was in Blackadder, though.
He was in Blackadder, yeah.
But yeah, and I thought he spoke fine in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean...
Obviously, when you have, and I'm unqualified opinion, but when you have a speech impediment, they do things like Shakespeare and old English to really make you pronounce your words.
Yeah.
So he was probably more capable of doing that, like performing in a Blackadder type, than like a normal show.
It's like there's some people who they stutter, they can sing quite well, but it's when they speak, in speech it's stuttering. Or have a look at ABBA. I mean, hardly spoke any English at all, but they sang in English quite well.
Yeah. Well, their record books would say that.
I would say so. They did pretty well.
So talking about those things, obviously we spoke about a lot about comedy movies there. So this will lead us into our next thing. But are the best comedies the comedies with like one-liners, like with jokes, or like slapstick type? What do you feel like?
Well, I actually like slapstick humour. So I love watching old Monty Python because even though some of the films are like older than me, they're still pretty good. And it's always funny when you actually see, someone's actually set up like a bit of a gag. But if it's a word joke, well, I guess it's like a joke. If you've heard it once, you're not going to laugh a second time.
It depends how funny it is.
I don't know.
Oh, really?
The in-betweeners, they kind of rattle off like the same joke every once in a while, and it gets me every time.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that's quite funny. I think I think slapstick keeps you engaged, but I think like a joke or something like really will pull you right in and be like,
that's true.
Yeah, I'll watch this again. That's funny, So Sam, you wanted to talk about jokes.
Yeah, well, it's just obviously kind of. I think it probably. I probably wrote that down in my notes at the same time as I was watching Fat Pizza.
Yeah.
And it just made me think. A lot of those really good jokes are very close, if not a little bit over the line of what a lot of people would find acceptable.
Yeah, and I think like what intrigued me about what you come in with is that are the best jokes have an element of truth.
Yeah,
I guess.
I agree
So
with
it's
that.
like if someone gives me grief about like having no hair, it's funny because it's true.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that seriousness to what is being said.
Yeah,
It's like
it's like you're hanging out with your mates and you've got a mate that's a little bit overweight, and you can say that around your mates because they're your mates, but you give him some grief about being overweight.
Yeah,
everyone's laughing because it's true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then if that same conversation, even if people were overhearing it, would find that completely out of line.
Yeah.
Like just on the context, the whole context and all that kind of stuff is, I don't know, it's crazy.
Well, let's see if you take a joke out of context. I guess it's not so funny, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Someone
Yeah. But again, it's the same as like when you're telling jokes. Yeah. And I'm not big on telling jokes on race and different things. But you'll find that there's a percentage of the population that find them the funniest in the world.
Yeah.
Like, because they feel like that's a truth to them.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Yeah, so I guess there's got to be an element of a true. Like, I guess the old three Irishmen, like an Irishman, an Englishman, and
walk into a
bar.
Yeah,
and an Aussie walk into a bar.
Yeah.
They're so much funnier if there's an Englishman and an Irishman in the room.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
But
and I don't think the Aussie always ends up being the star in those ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Because
Australia.
we're Australian.
Yeah.
I guess.
But how it makes it for all those comedians, it's bloody hard to think of new jokes and think of stuff that's got an element of truth to it, but is not going to cause public outcry.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line between being funny and staying within, society's rules. I guess. Yeah, because I couldn't think of better terminology than that.
When it comes to comedy, I was actually reading this article and they're talking about how they say the best comedians they punch up, as in they kind of aim at people who are more powerful. They don't punch down, which is when they when you actually make fun of people who are less fortunate than you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, however, if you go back in, let's say, Eddie Murphy, back in the 80s, when he had that Delirious, his Delirious show, those were all punching down jokes. He actually make fun of himself or other people. But when you actually have some other comedians, they normally kind of punch up at authority. That's kind of more in vogue now because it kind of upsets less people, I suppose.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I think Eddie Murphy had a crack at Michael Jackson. He had a crack at...
Oh, that's true.
He had people that were really, really famous at that point in time. But then again, he had a crack at his parents and his auntie.
Himself, yeah.
And Goony Goo. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess the Dave Chappelle show when it came
he's amazing.
out, that was
Dave Chappelle's
an incredible show. But would those jokes be appropriate now?
Oh, that's still funny.
Yeah, probably. Well, I think it's like anything as it ages over time. It's definitely there's a lot less that you could keep.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he because that show was really popular, wasn't it? I actually heard that he was offered $50 million to stay, and he chose not to, simply because they were actually trying to make him. They believed they were forcing him to do jokes which didn't actually. It kind of made things worse than better, in a lot of ways. Because he's pretty well influential in his field.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's absolute comic genius. But he doesn't. He also does what he believes. He sticks by what he believes in as well. And to kind of say,
you're telling me that he believed in Con Air?
Was he in Con Air?
Yeah, he was in Con Air.
No way.
Yeah.
God, I didn't believe that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch Con Air again.
Yeah.
What's Con Air?
Con Air is Nicholas.
Nicholas Cage. Yeah, Nicholas Cage film.
Nick Cage film. I love Nick Cage.
With Steve Buscemi too.
Yeah. So if you watch, Con Air is great. If you haven't seen it,
it's a really good film.
Oh man, Con Air is one of the greats. Yeah.
Oh, and John Malkovich. Every word starts with a capital.
Yeah, John Malkovich was in it. Yeah.
No, honestly, if you watch him, that's it. That's a brilliant film. But I have to watch that again now. I didn't realize he was in it.
So but I think when you're young, he was young, and when you're an actor, you're trying to make it through. So I think it's interesting. I think there's a fine line. I don't know if I could be a comedian. I really I just don't. Yeah, I'm not funny enough to start with, but I think there's a really high expectation, and if you're a comedian, do you have to be funny around your friends? Do your friends expect you to be funny? Do you have to be funny all the time? Can you have a bad day if you're a comedian?
I feel like maybe around your mates you wouldn't have to be funny.
No.
Or they might already find you quite funny as you are, as you are. But I think the toughest thing would be if you wanted to go down to the pub for a drink.
Yeah.
Having a few people come up to you tell us a joke, and you're just like, well, I'm just here having a beer. I'm not here. I'm not a full-time comedian 24/7.
Yeah.
Just want to have a drink.
So it's like a job.
Yeah.
It's like the chef. The last thing he wants to do when he comes back from work is to actually cook a meal. It's like, no, I'll just go buy McDonald's. It's fine.
He ends up eating the worst food. Ever. Not that McDonald's is that bad, but it's.
I like a Big Mac.
Yeah, I had a double Big Mac the other day.
Oh.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you know what else is pretty good?
What's that?
Turkish Delight.
Yep, Turkish Delights. 100% Turkish Delights of the business.
And it's quite a controversial thing, I think, because I think you either love it or you hate it, Turkish Delights. I don't think there's no in between.
Seltzer's none.
Wait, so which kind of Turkish Delights we're talking about here? The ones that Cadbury bring out, or the actual proper ones in the metal tins where they actually cover it in dust with the nuts through it? And
the one in favourites. In the favourites box.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. That's the conversation, I guess. Like, is that really a Turkish Delight?
I don't think so. Not a real one. Like, if you have the proper ones, actually they come in the metal tins and you actually cover it in the actual dust.
They're white powder covered.
Exactly. It's amazing. It tastes like it's nowhere near as sweet. Well, I've just always enjoyed it. Was the other Turkish Delights? I've got some box of favourites at home. They're not going to be touched.
Really?
Yeah, never eat them.
So with it, like Turkish Delight. So Turkish Delights is like there's two trains of thought here. Mm-hmm. Right. There's the fridge Turkish Delight people, and there's the definitely never put it in the fridge Turkish Delight people. Who are you?
Like, as in just chocolates?
Or Turkish Delights in particular?
So I'm a heavy believer that chocolates shouldn't be in the fridge unless you live in a climate like we do where it's hot. So like when it starts to become summer, you're gonna have to put them in the fridge.
Okay. I'm a big all chocolate goes in the fridge. All of it.
I'm with you there.
Always in the fridge. I don't care what it is. I just like the way that it gets hard. Yeah, and yeah.
Oh, Sammy's shaking his head. I'm kind of going, well, I kind of get further than that. I especially love picnics in the freezer.
Really?
Because when you take a picnic out and bite it, after it's been in the freezer, it shatters in your mouth into a million pieces. It's amazing.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good.
So
I actually freeze my picnics.
Picnic in the freezer.
Picnic in the freezer, they shatter.
All right, I've got a few picnics in the fridge, so I know it's like Christmas. The amount of people that gave me chocolate was insane. I eat chocolate, but I'm not a mad chocolate person.
No, you're not.
Mate, I've got like 7 boxes of chocolate in this house at the moment. Different things, so I've got roses.
Yep.
Celebrations.
I haven't had roses in years.
Favourites.
Yep.
I've got some Linked. I've got some
M&Ms.
I've got M&Ms.
I also have M&Ms.
Yeah, as well. I've got M&Ms.
Maltesers.
Didn't get any Maltesers.
Oh,
yeah, no Maltesers. But I have these this craft boutique chocolate in there as well.
Oh,
I don't know where they got it from.
No Turkish Delight though.
Yeah. No, because in the favourites.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah. So I got some of that. But yeah, I'm in the fridge. In the fridge for me. But maybe it's because of the climate sound.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Because I just think when chocolate gets too soft, I can't enjoy it.
But you want it to melt in your mouth.
Yeah, I want it because what I love to do is I like to get like the chocolate, and I'm a massive. They've got the best thing about Christmas time.
Yeah,
crunchy Santas. They're so good. Crunchy Santas are so good. Take a bite off, put it on my tongue, put my hot cuppa on it, melt around that. That's good. That's what I'm talking about. I went through a massive stage with Tim Tams too, like Tim Tam
Slams
all the
Tams
time.
are good.
Oh, jeez, Tim Tam Slams.
Yeah.
I've actually finished whole packets doing that. It's dangerous. No, you don't realise it until afterwards. You're like, geez, I've just had 11 Tim Tams in a row.
Yeah.
Like 2 cups of tea.
Yeah, I've done that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I've probably not in a long time. Now I'm on like I usually only have one. Sometimes I'll have 2. Whereas I used to be, I used to be like 5 every time.
Yeah, that's it.
Just 5 Tim Tams, bang! I just knock them out. I probably don't do enough exercise to do that many Tim Tams in one sitting anymore. But.
Oh no, I've seen you work out. You're doing pretty well.
Yeah, no,
you could work off a few Tim Tams.
Yeah, but I want to save the workouts for the beers. So, so I've got to weigh up where my calories are coming from. Yeah. I don't think we solved anything there, Sammy.
Nah. Turkish Delight, I like them.
Yeah, I like them too.
The ones that come in the favourites box.
Yeah, and Troy likes the other ones.
Yeah.
But we all like Turkish Delight.
That's it.
You know, that's a good question. So when the Sean Turn's not here today, but Sean Turn, you need to put a poll up.
Actually,
Turkish Delight, yes or no?
He's not going to listen to this either. Let's be real. Let's be real now. Come on.
All right, we're going to message the Sean Turn. We're going to message him. Yeah. You are a beer pong king, Sam.
Yeah, I don't mind to play a bit of beer pong.
You got a mad setup.
Yeah, I do. I do have a nice little setup.
Yeah.
We're playing on Saturday, and we're playing 1v1s, and my one mate, James, who's been on the podcast.
Yeah.
He's like, how many times after you haven't made a shot for a while, the game's going a bit dry.
Yeah.
And then someone makes the cut, and then as soon as you pick it out and you have your drink, and you throw it, you make it as well.
Okay, yeah. Firstly, I want to say playing 1v1 beer pong is insane, in my opinion, because it's a team sport. Beer pong's a team sport.
Sometimes, yeah.
I think it's a team sport because it's about bonding and bringing people together, and the fact that you've got so many cups there. I just need help.
Yeah, that's a lot of beer for one person.
Yeah. Do you change the rules slightly? Is there only like 3 cups or 4 cups, or do you have still have the same?
Same amount of cups,
Yeah.
but we did obviously we did water in the cups.
Yep.
So water in the cups, and the rule is that you just have to finish your drink, a full drink, by the end of the game.
Oh, okay. Well, that's responsible.
That's okay.
It makes it, you still have the fun, you're still drinking a bit, but you're not.
And they're still a champion.
Yeah, and you're not full of beer after a game or something. Sometimes when you get someone knocks down like 3 cups and you've got to drink that beer, it gets a bit. So as a non-beer drinker as well, it's like double worse.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't often lose at beer pong. I'm actually pretty good. I think the last few beer pong tournaments I've made the grand final.
Yeah.
Like I think probably the last 5 or 6, and I think I won 2. Yeah. So I'm not performing at the highest of my peak performance at the grand final, but I'm getting there. Who's been your greatest beer pong partner, Sam?
Oh, my greatest. That's a tough one to ask.
Little shout out, yeah.
That's a tough one to ask.
So when you're with your group of mates, is there one person you're like, nah, I'm just not going with them at all?
Yeah. I'll put this out there, mum and dad.
Yeah. I just love that your mum and dad play.
Well, a lot of the times at the shed, it's there might be three people there, and then to play 2v2, you need an extra. So that's when I run upstairs and get one of them to tag in. But then whoever's by themselves, they get Mooka or Dad.
Oh, I'd take either one of those. I reckon I could carry them.
All right, next time.
Yeah,
Book it in.
All right,
But
done.
you're actually asking before why you get the ball in though when someone else gets it in as well.
Yeah,
Do you reckon it's because you actually have a drink though, and it kind of loosens things up a bit, or maybe you saw the way they did it and you somehow impersonating them, or not impersonating, but imitating them in a way?
I don't know. I thought it was a bit suspect when he said it, but then
I haven't noticed it, to be honest.
He did mention it a lot of times throughout the night, and it did happen. I'd say
multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because when you see something done, like something you think is quite difficult, but if you see someone else do it, then suddenly everyone can do it afterwards.
I think it might be a bit of that kind of the positive mentality, and
or the fact that you're down one and I've got to get in the game, so you focus a little more.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, so you refocus because you're behind.
Yep.
I know for me it'd be like, well, they've hit one, I need to hit one now because otherwise I'm going to get too far behind in this game, and I want to win. Generally,
yeah.
So
doesn't sound like you.
Yeah, I like winning. Yeah. Well, I think one of my best beer pong stories was I was in New York, and I was traveling by myself, and I just went to New York by myself and was staying in a little place, and I found this bar just down a random street, one of the avenues in Manhattan, and they had beer pong set up in there, in the bar. So I went into the bar, met some random people just by playing beer pong. Their rules were completely different, which was weird, but I slowly worked it out. Ended up having a really good night, meeting some people in America, in New York City, playing beer pong. It was bizarre. Yeah, it was a good story. Yeah, they had a beer pong table set up in the pub.
That's amazing.
Yeah, blew my mind. Like just because in Australia you did that, they'd be like, that's irresponsible drinking and like.
There's one place in Scarborough that did it for a while. They used to have beer pong tournaments.
Yeah.
I can't remember what one, but they definitely did it. But they stopped for that reason. I'm pretty sure that they get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
Talking about Scarborough, and this is sort of jumping a few spots now. But there's a bar in Scarborough that has bowling.
Yeah.
So 10-pin bowling.
Yeah.
And the question I wanted to ask, and I know Mook is a bit of a star here, so I don't mean any disrespect at all, but is 10-pin bowling a sport?
Yes. Definitely is a sport.
Okay.
I'd say.
So we've had the discussion about what creates a sport or not.
We have.
This fits in exactly with that. I'd say it's a sport too. Actually, I remember that conversation you guys had, and I'm like, well, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it relies on skill. There's scoring involved.
Yeah.
It's very black and white.
Does it change from a sport to an activity though when drinks start getting involved?
No, it just becomes more interesting.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Because I went to the lookout and we played some bowling, had a couple of beers and whatnot, and it's awesome. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And then you have a few beers, and so I think we should do that anyway. So this is an excuse for us to talk about bowling, so we can go to the lookout and do it around
Bowling tournament.
Yeah, a little bowling tournament.
Well, hold up, we haven't even got our
competition. That's going to happen though.
Yeah, it will happen.
Yeah, I think it's probably a bowling tournament's probably more likely to happen because it's just at the pub there.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So 10-pin bowling is a sport.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, cool.
Might have a chance of winning that one too. I'm not a bad bowler.
What's your best score, Troy?
My best score?
Sam's 218.
Oh wow.
No, try again.
Was it higher? 228.
225.
Oh damn! Yeah, mine was 190.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Okay, well yeah, you win.
I think mine's about a 180. Yeah, but I'm feeling like I'm getting better every time I go. I've been twice in the last 2 months, and I'm getting better. I know what size ball I like now. And I know what weight I like. And the last time I went, I bowled 3 strikes in a row in one little stint.
Turkey.
Yeah, little turkey happened. So I thought, you know what, I'm starting to get this. It's going to be all right. But my issue is my finger on my right hand. Is all messed up. So I've had to create a way where I don't use that finger.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it hurts too much. So anyway, so that's going to happen. All right. So 10-pin bowling is a sport. I love it. All right. Sam, you always bring a weird shit to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's about fish.
Are you a fan of tuna or not? Oh no, the other one.
I do like tuna.
There's plenty of fish stories.
Yeah, I do like tuna. That's a good question.
Let's get that one quick out the way.
Yeah. Do you like tuna?
Absolutely. I actually, I got those cans of tuna with biscuits. That's like a little snack once in a while. If I want something to eat, I just get some biscuits out, some tuna.
Tuna with natural spring water on tuna in a sauce.
Actually, I like tuna with in a sauce, or with oil. But
so I like the spring water tuna.
Spring water. Oh.
Yeah.
I find it a bit dry.
That's just a natural one.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah. Any tuna's good, I reckon.
Yeah, tuna's great.
But
if you can tuna, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Chicken of the sea.
Chicken of the sea.
Nah, I know what you're talking about now. I actually went for a swim on Saturday morning down at the Mac Club, where it's a little bit more like there's reef out there, and then there's a little secluded area kind of thing where you can have a little float and a little swim.
Yep.
Like it's a snorkel spot, really. But anyway, I was floating on my back. And I had noticed it was real clear, and I was like, there's a few fish just swimming around and whatnot, which is, it's cool when you're just walking around. And I was floating on my back, and then a fish came and nibbled on my big toe.
That would have given me an absolute heart attack.
I did. I shat myself a little bit, and then I was like, oh no, it was definitely just a fish, but...
people pay... to get their feet shoot the skins. Yeah. So they go in there, the little fish come in.
That's it.
And they eat their dead skin off their feet.
Yeah.
People actually do that. So you got that for free, man.
Yeah. Although I didn't stay in long enough to get the full clean, I don't think. Because as soon as I felt it, I was like, it was kind of cool, but then at the same time, I was like, I don't want the fish to come nibble on my big toe again.
You had the taste of human flesh now.
I know.
You've created a monster.
What did it feel like?
Yeah.
It felt weird. Tickled a bit.
Okay.
But you could definitely tell that it was like a little fish's mouth or something. There was nothing else in the water that's like...
Yeah. So is there like a mark on your foot after it?
Nah. But yeah, it was weird, but it was pretty funny.
Man, I never had that happen. I've never had it happen.
And if I had something nibble on me while I'm in the ocean, that would I wouldn't go back in the ocean again.
I've been nipped by a crab before.
Oh, wait, when you're swimming around?
No. When I was picking up when I was young.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, if you're swimming, let's say you're swimming in the great deep blue, and then suddenly something starts nibbling in your toe. In your case, it was just a little fish, but I don't know how I'd react from that. I'd swim to the shore pretty quick.
Nah, it's not that bad. And like where I am is like there's quite a few fish there. It's not like if you go to another beach where there's no like the reef isn't as close and stuff. Probably less chance it's going to happen, but I don't know.
So he says now he's going to go to the beach, put your feet in the water, hoping for a little bit of a nibble.
I went for 2 swims today. I always go for a swim.
You do, yeah. I love it. I get on the Instagram and every day there's Sam at the beach. Pretty much every day.
Yeah, a lot of days.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even post just to,
Are you close to the beach?
I like 7-minute drive.
Oh, 7 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh, that's pretty good.
10-minute drive, not long.
Okay, where I am now, I'm kind of I'm in Como, so I don't know if I'd swim in the Swan River.
Oh yeah, nah. Go to the beach.
Beach.
City beach.
Yeah.
Let's do that more often, I think. I do like swimming in the beach.
So I had my Christmas party in Hillary's.
Yeah.
On Friday. So we went down there and we're sort of talking, you take your we should take bathers or whatever and jump in it. And the amount of people that said to me, there's no way I'm swimming in that disgusting hole was incredible. Because, it's part of a pier.
Yeah.
And there's oil and
all that,
like in the water.
Okay.
And
Good
they're
point.
like, I'm not gonna swim there. And I'm like, man, I've swum there a few times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's okay, but I guess it isn't. Now that I think about it, it doesn't feel as clean and as nice as like a beach, the ocean.
Yeah, it's not. It's not ideal, but it's still swim in it.
But they're pretty cool. They've got those water slides and things there, which are awesome, and you can jump off the buoy in the middle, and yeah. So which is anyway. The great debate. Which is the best berry?
Oh.
I thought you were going for Gatorade versus Powerade again. But,
No.
No, it's Powerade.
But that's actually
Ooh.
We're not going there. We are not going
I think
there.
we've done it already, haven't we?
Yeah, we can talk about this again.
That's right.
But now we're going to talk about berries.
Berry, okay,
The berry
berry.
debate. The berry debate.
I think it's raspberries.
Strawberries.
See, I'm more on the strawberry bandwagon because I feel like the viscosity of the
If you've got a viscous strawberry, there's a problem, fella. Strawberries should not be viscous.
Like they're quite meaty. I think with a raspberry, they're quite airy. You know what I mean? They don't have the same thickness or the same meat. I guess like the meat of the fruit as
Berries are pretty good though. Like mulberries are pretty amazing as well.
Mulberries are really good.
I do like a mulberry. That could be actually up there.
But strawberries are good. But the problem with strawberries is if you get a punnet of strawberries, the chances are you're only going to get about 3 strawberries that are like elite that taste really good. You're going to get a handful that don't taste that good.
Yep.
While with like raspberries, I feel there's a little bit more consistency in the punnet.
Yeah, no, but I think that the really, really good strawberry is what throws it over the line. Because I don't think you can have a raspberry and go, oh my god, that was incredible. You can have a strawberry and go, oh my god, that was incredible.
I don't know. I enjoy a good raspberry. Yeah. Like if I get a good raspberry, I'm like, wow.
I'd pick a raspberry flavored sweet treat or drink over a strawberry flavored one.
Agreed.
But I think if I was going to have the fruit itself, the strawberry is a better fruit.
The interesting thing about strawberries, though, is that they're actually they're really sour, and there's like a bit of a chemical change when they go red, and that actually makes them taste sweet. But the acidity level is actually higher than lemons and that.
Really?
Yeah. No, it's actually they're really, really sour.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because that's hence why I was saying you only get 3 strawberries that are like.
But if you get it just right,
yeah.
But if they're trying to get like the chemical out there because they worked out it's better than saccharin or the false sweeteners and stuff like that. It's really potent.
Yeah,
but I haven't quite mastered it yet.
But
you're right. Yeah, I mean a good strawberry. Whew.
Yeah, good strawberries. Do you know what I think is a really overrated berry? Blueberry.
I can only eat them in muffins.
They're so overrated. I find them bland. They're boring. They don't even taste. They don't taste like anything.
Have you put a blueberry in the freezer?
No.
Blueberries in the freezer are quite nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially like for a summer's day, and you just want something cold to eat, I guess, kind of thing.
My kids love them. Like we'll get a little punnet of blueberries and they smash through them. They love them. Yeah.
I had a blueberry plant once upon a time, and I admit the blueberries off that were pretty damn good.
Yeah?
I mean, really fresh blueberries. They tasted like you could taste the blueness.
I think that's another good question. Are blueberries overrated?
I would actually, I agree with that. They're not as great as people reckon. I reckon they say they're like a superfood and all that, but yeah.
I wouldn't say they're overrated. I reckon they're probably
They're good.
they're at their where they need to be. I think.
Yeah.
Are raspberries overrated?
Definitely not.
Great as a flavour. Not
Uh-huh.
good as a great as a flavour, not good as a berry.
Berry.
Yeah.
It's a great berry.
It's a great
Cough medicine? Mwah.
raspberry cough medicine. Beautiful. Yeah, raspberry lollipops. Beautiful.
Oh.
The raspberry itself. Overrated.
Poor Sam.
No, I don't mind. I think a strawberry is a better berry though. I think
It's versatile.
strawberry versus raspberry, Sam. That's going to be the question.
Yeah,
That's going to be the question.
We'll put that up.
Yeah, that's got to happen. So let's come to that time, Sammy.
Once again, 35. Christmas podcast.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Christmas podcast.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. If you are travelling, make sure you're safe. Those that aren't able to see their loved ones at this point in time, we feel for you. Stay safe, stay happy, and use as much technology as you can to connect with the ones that you love. We definitely feel very, very lucky and privileged to be here in WA.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just remember, it is the season of giving. It's not the season of getting. Yeah. So if you feel like someone, it's a very hard time of year for a lot of people as well. So if you feel like someone might need an extra little bit of contact, an extra little bit of love, take the time to share some of your time with them, because you'd be surprised at the difference you can make.
That's it. A kind word costs nothing but gives much.
Yeah, absolutely. So get on our socials, celebrate the fact that we've lasted this long.
Yeah,
Episode 35. We're going to be around for a while, so much love from us. So, Sammy?
Yeah, thanks, Troy.
Thank you for coming,
No
Troy.
worries.
Sure.
See ya.